So a story like this kicks off and you think you know exactly where it's going, right? Another flashy purchase in a world full of them. But you're going to want to stick around because what starts with a supercar ends up being a really personal story about searching for where you come from.
Okay, let's just dive right into this central puzzle here. In a world that is obsessed, and I mean obsessed, with top speeds and breaking lap records, why would anyone, and I mean anyone, drop a fortune on a supercar that the manufacturer themselves admits is, well, slow? It just doesn't add up.
All right, so let's set the scene. We've got entrepreneur Iman Gadzhi, and he's just added another wild vehicle to his collection. At first glance, you see a Lamborghini Huracan Storado, and you might just think, okay, business as usual. But oh no, this is where things start to get really, really interesting.
And this is where the sheer weirdness of it all really comes into focus. You know, a normal supercar is slammed to the ground, all for aerodynamics. The Storado? It's jacked up, ready to go off-road. A normal supercar is sleek, smooth. The Storado? It's got these huge floodlights bolted to the front. And here's the real kicker. It is officially Lamborghini's slowest car. The whole point isn't speed. It's about having fun on any terrain.
So you've got this absolutely wild mix of features, right? Raised suspension, this crazy roof scoop, those floodlights we talked about, and all-terrain tires. On a V10 supercar, it's a combination that just feels like it shouldn't exist. It's basically a contradiction on wheels, and a super rare one at that, with only 1,500 of them ever made.
And you know what? Iman himself is completely in on it. He's driving it on dirt roads, places a supercar has absolutely no business being. He flat out calls the whole thing preposterous. But that's the entire point. That's what he loves about it. This car's whole identity is built on smashing every single rule in the supercar playbook. But the why, that's the important part.
Now hang on, because this is where the story takes a huge turn. On the very same day this preposterous car shows up, something completely different is happening back at Iman's place. The story is about to pivot, hard, from the garage right into the kitchen.
A special guest is on the way. It's Hasbullah, who also happens to be from Dagestan. And to get ready, Iman's mother is cooking up a storm of traditional Dagestani food. Suddenly, the whole vibe just shifts, from the roar of a V10 engine to the warmth and smell of a home-cooked meal. It's a scene that's just so deeply rooted in culture and tradition.
And you can hear it right here, in Iman's own words, as he reflects on what the day means. This isn't just about a big-name collaboration or a fun little get-together. For him, this is a conscious choice, an act of returning to his roots. And that one idea suddenly casts this whole day in a brand new light.
But here's the thing. This desire to reconnect, it isn't coming from a place of strength. No, it's born from a feeling of loss. And this is where we get to the real heart of the story.
In this really raw, vulnerable moment, Iman opens up about this deep-seated feeling of shame. He feels like he's lost touch with his home, with his culture, and he's even forgotten his native language. I mean, that's a really powerful admission, feeling disconnected from your own identity. You have to remember, he left Dagestan when he was just 4 years old. So now he sees this gap, this disconnect, as a personal flaw, something he's actually really focused on correcting in the next few years. So this day, this meal, this time spent with someone from back home, it's a small step for sure, but a really important one on that journey.
So, okay, we have these two stories running side by side. A totally ridiculous, rule-breaking supercar and this really personal, emotional journey to reconnect with one's heritage. But what if they aren't parallel stories at all? What if they're actually the very same story?
This is the key question, isn't it? How do you possibly tie these two completely different threads together? Well, the answer is all about rethinking what we value, whether that's in a car or in life.
And there it is. That's the whole thesis. The Storado was never built to be the best car on a spec sheet. It's not about winning a race or setting a new lap time. Its entire purpose, its whole reason for being, is simply to create fun.
You know, this means we basically need a whole new category for a car like this. Let's call it the smile car. Its main metric isn't horsepower or miles per hour, it's smiles per gallon. It's a car whose value is measured by the positive, emotional reaction it creates in people.
And this whole philosophy, it makes perfect sense in a place like Dubai. You don't really have those winding European mountain roads where you can push a car to its absolute limit. So the whole metric for what makes a good car starts to shift. It's not about how fast you can possibly go, but about how much fun you can have at any speed.
And this just nails it, doesn't it? The car's absurdity isn't a bug, it's the main feature. People see this thing and they don't feel intimidated or jealous, they just smile. It creates this shared moment of pure, joyful ridiculousness.
So suddenly, the logic of this illogical car becomes crystal clear. You start by challenging convention, by breaking the rules, so you can prioritize joy over just raw speed. And when you do that, you end up creating a connection. You get these positive reactions because you chose to value a memorable experience over some dry statistic on a piece of paper.
And that brings us to the final thought, the big idea behind all of this. The car? It's just a metaphor. Just like the best car isn't always the fastest one, maybe the best life isn't the one that's perfectly optimized for efficiency or achievement. Maybe it's the one that, like spending a day reconnecting with your roots or driving a ridiculous car, is just optimized for joy.